All right, draft number 5 of Duskmourn. Are you going infinite on Moto drafting? So far. All right, so Victor Valgavas Seneschal. So this is Orzhov. Whenever an enchantment enters or unlock a room, surveil 2 on the first trigger. Second trigger, each opponent discards. Third trigger, reanimate something. So I think the odds that you're going to put 3 enchantments into play in the same turn is pretty laughable. So it's essentially a 3-mana 3/3 that on ETB with enchantment surveils most of the time. Maybe sometimes you'll get the second trigger and make your opponent discard. So it's either that, or we can take Defiled Crypt / Cadaver Lab, which I have really liked. This also commits us to 2 colors pretty early, and I just don't think the card is even that good. So I think I would rather just take this. Oh, there's also Seized from Slumber. I'd still rather take the room. Break Down the Door, Disturbing Mirth, Fear of Failed Tests, deal combat damage to a player, draw that many, 2/7. There's also the Crab, or Dragonfire, or Trapped in the Screen. Wow, this is a lot of things. There's a lot of good cards in this pack. We have 2 solid removal spells, Mirth, another solid removal spell. Wow. I think all else being equal, I want Trapped because it's an enchantment and can therefore trigger enchantment-related things. Yeah, all right, let's take that. Lionheart Glimmer. Whenever you attack creatures you control, get +1/+1 until end of turn, or Rite of the Moth, or Egotist, or Balemerc Leech. Wow. Solid blocker with ward that also pumps the team. Seems pretty solid. Rite of the Moth is also good, but it relies on us having a big creature to reanimate twice. And Egotist is always good too. This triggers when the thing leaves your graveyard, right? 1 or more cards leave your graveyard. Oh, and Murder? How did I completely overlook that? Yeah, you know what? I'm taking Murder. What? Excuse me? Some people just hate money. I'm not one of them. This will just be going right over here. Okay, Nowhere to Run is definitely the best card in this pack, and it's also black, so we'll be taking that. Is there any world where I can play this? It's just 9 mana extra turn spell, right? Oh, it's... Okay, it's going to be, depending on what your opponent chooses, they're probably just going to choose to give you an extra turn, and then you're going to take their best permanent. Oh, earned by the voter. Okay, so they might just give you 2 extra turns then. Regardless, it's a 9 mana sorcery, so we're not playing it. Fear of Abduction. As an additional cast, exile a creature you control. Flying 5/5. When it enters, exile target creature an opponent controls. When this leaves the battlefield, put each card exiled with it into their owner's hand. Okay, all right. Well, we'll be taking that. Ooh, Acrobatic Cheerleader and Balemerc Leech. I think given the trajectory of this deck, the Balemerc Leech is going to be better. Yeah. All right, let's take the Merc Leech. Another Balemerc Leech. Ooh, things are getting spicy now. Found Footed. Ooh, Glimmerlight. All right, Glimmerlight it is. Fear of Lost Teeth. Every other card is in a different color. The Crab is pretty funny, though. There is an outside chance that we're not white. I think I would rather have this in my sideboard. Another Balemerc Leech. All right. Which one is this one? It's the draw 2 cards. Let's cut off the blue card. There's almost no shot I'm playing this. So sideboard that, sideboard. Okay. Well, we're all in on the enchantment train. What does this thing do? Central Elevator. When you unlock, search your library for a room that doesn't have the same name as a room you control. And, okay, so it tutors a room. The other one. At the beginning of your rep, keep Surveil 1. You win if there are 8 or more different names among unlocked doors of rooms. Okay, so that's terrible. So let's not take that. What else do we have? Glimmer Seeker. If second main, if it's tapped, draw a card. If you don't draw a card if you control a Glimmer creature. If you don't control a Glimmer creature, make a Glimmer creature. Okay, that's fine. Sporogenic Infection, also good. Yeah. We're still not necessarily white, though. So is it better to take Infection? I'm not sure. This has to be tapped, right? It's also just solid stats. And I'll take this one. Okay, Patched Plaything. Shard Mage's Rescue. Unwanted Remake. Emerge from the Cocoon. The only black card is Fear of the Dark, which is not very good. I will take... Oh, what does Cult Healer do? Whenever an enchantment enters, whenever you unlock a room, it gains lifelink. This has been, like, surprisingly solid at just blocking everything. Every time I've seen it. It's just so good at blocking stuff. So we will take the Patched Plaything. Undead Sprinter, which we can't run because we don't have red. So what else is in this pack? Vile Mutilator. Sack a creature enchantment. Enters, each opponent sacks a non-token enchantment. Sacks a non-token creature. It is expensive, but that's fine. Which one is this one? 2 enchantment triggers off of 1 card is pretty tough to pass up with our triple Balemerc Leech deck. How many creatures do we have? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, this is fine. Peer Past the Veil or When the ghost enters, target creature gets +2/+4. What a weird effect. Fear of the Lost Teeth. We don't have any sack effects yet. Savior of the Small. Beginning of your second main. If it's tapped, return target creature card with value 3 or less from grave to hand. Yeah, we're taking that. Really? A dual land? All right. So there's only one card in our colors in this pack, so we're going to take this. Keys to the House, Cracked Skull, Final Vengeance. We have 2 removal spells at the moment. Yeah, I'll take the Vengeance. All right, take the Cycling guy. That's fine. This is looking really great so far. Oh, we have more removal because Nowhere to Run. I forgot that one. All right, Fear of the Dark's our only pick. Take that. What do we have over here? Cracked Skull. What's our non-creature count? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could run it. Yeah, all right, all right, let's just keep cutting blue off, I guess. All right, we have a dual land. And aside from that, there is Acrobatic Cheerleader and Murder. Okay, so obviously the correct pick is Murder, but I'm going to take the tick. Okay, Exercise, Osseous Stick Twister, Cultist, Fear of Surveillance, Seized from Slumber. So this is artifact, enchantment, or creature with power 4 or greater, and this is just kill any creature. Between these two, I'm not actually sure which one's... Oh, Trapped in the Screen is also in this pack. Never mind, we're just going to take that. That made it easy. It's artifact, creature, or enchantment. Okay, move to the deck. Nashi, and there's also Living Phone. The correct pick is maximizing your ticks and win percentage. It's just an obscured version of that. Yeah, basically. It reminds me of when... what was the famous incident at the Pro Tour where they were taking... one guy opened a foil Tarmogoyf in the pack, but he wasn't green. And he just took that one instead. And so many people got butthurt over that. Like, oh, he's messing up the integrity of the game. He should have taken the correct card in the pack. I technically can splash blue. I have 2 blue duels, right? Okay, Murder is somehow still in this pack, so we're going to take that. And that Tarmogoyf wound up selling for like thousands of dollars because of all of the story around it. All right, Sporogenic Infection, nothing else really here. Take that. Dashing Bloodsucker. What does this one do again? It's attack. Another creature gets +1/+0, indestructible. Okay. Oh, and Ethereal Armor. How many enchantments do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think we're probably better off just taking this. Yeah. All right, we're taking this one. Cracked Skull. Unlock the thing. All right, we're going to take the Door. Yeah, I mean, it's a 1 of 1 since only that one is foil and has the stamp from verifying it was a drafted card too. Yeah. Well, I think it was more that because of all the story, the mythology around the card is what made it so valuable. And he also auctioned it on eBay, I think, and said like half the proceeds are going to charity, so that was part of it as well. I forget what the exact count was. I think he made like $4,000 off of that Tarmogoyf. But he said, I remember the analyses at the time being like, what would you rather have? Like basically saying, however expensive the card is, it's like saying, how much would you pay to take the card that you technically want over the other card? So it's like, however much the value card that you can sell, would you pay whatever that amount is to get the technically correct pick in the pack, right? And it's like, no, you wouldn't pay hundreds of dollars to put... what was the card? Burst Lightning in your pack. Man, there's so many Glimmerlights, eh? This is going this late? All right. Man, we missed the opportunity to play the crab deck, apparently. Look at all those crabs. We even have 2 crabs. All right, so group the creatures separately, but this isn't exactly correct because, so this thing makes a creature, right? So this technically makes a creature, and all the Glimmerlights are technically creatures. Now, they're 1/1s, which isn't great, but they are all technically creatures. This is more like a 4-drop, and then this thing is more like a 3-drop, and then there's all the creatures. Okay, so we're 5 cards over the amount that we actually want. So we have Jack All that cares about Delirium in the deck, and we have nothing that reanimates, which means I don't really want this Fanatic of the Harrowing, so let's get rid of that. Let's look at the spells. So we've got removal, 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 removal. Then there's this card draw spell, which is fine. I also like the fact that it gives Death Touch, so it means that our like 1/1 attackers can actually get in. And then there's this one, which also makes more guys. So I have 7, 10, 13, 14, 16 cards here. So probably don't want to cut too many of these creatures. What are the worst ones here? I'm basically not cutting anything that's an enchantment because of triple Balemerc Leeches. How many hits does Living Phone have? It has 1, 2, 3. This doesn't count. 4. So it can only hit 4 things in the entire deck. So, I don't know. Okay, so let's see. This requires some calculation. All right, so we're going to have a 40-card deck, and there are 4 other creatures in the deck with power 2 or less. We have a 7-card opening hand. What are the odds we hit one of them? So 55% shot, so we're probably going to have drawn one of these already. So then if we change the math so that we have it's on turn 3 to 4 is when this phone can potentially die, assuming we're doing everything on curve. So we have 30 cards left in our deck. We have, on average, 3 2-power or less creatures left in the deck, and we see 5 cards. What's the odds that we hit one of them? The odds are less than 50, less than 50%. Yeah, okay, so it's not worth playing because we're probably just gonna brick on it usually. So take out the phone. Okay, the spells that I'm probably most likely to cut is the Cracked Skull, even though it is an enchantment. Actually, no, I'm not taking out Cracked Skull because with 4 different cards that make 1/1 enchantment creatures that I can then use to just block whatever, I absolutely am keeping that. Also, the Final Vengeance gets really good when we're playing a bunch of dinky 1/1s. So then what else are we cutting? This guy? Like, he's all right. I imagine most of the time he's not going to be a 4/4. Now let's cut him. We still have 2 more cards to cut. There's this room. These trigger on rooms, right? Yeah. Man, our cards are too good. I just don't want to cut them. We have to cut 2 spells. Man, I do not know what to get rid of. All right, what if we get rid of Sporogenic Infection, right? No, we're not getting rid of that. It's got the same Death Touch clause as Cracked Skull, which is, again, great with all of these little 1/1s. It's also good with our Double Striker. Man, our cards are just too good. What if I just play 43 cards with 18 lands? So here's my thinking. First of all, the Flood Farm Verge is basically it's a plains anyway. So even though we don't have any blue cards in our deck, it doesn't cost us anything to run it. It may make opponents think like, oh, what blue card do they have, right? Whereas the other one actually does cost us because it by default taps for blue. So we're not going to run the Gloom-like Verge. The second thing is, if you look at the deck, everything has too much synergy with each other. So if I spread it out like this. So the Glimmerlights are technically creatures, so we move these here. This thing also similarly makes a 1/1 creature, so we move that there. This thing, we're probably playing it on 4, so it's technically a 4-drop, and this is technically a 3-drop because we're probably playing it on the draw cards mode first most of the time. So if you actually count all of this up here, right? This is 7, 9, 11, 12, 14. It's 14 creatures. That's already on the low end. I don't want to cut any more of these creatures. Like, I basically cannot afford to cut any of them. So that leaves the spells. But the problem is, what spells do I want to cut, right? So Murder, obviously not cutting that. Trapped in the Screen, not cutting that. Seized from Slumber, not cutting that. Nowhere to Run, not cutting that. So I'm not cutting any, like, just good, solid removal spells. So what does that leave? That leaves Final Vengeance, which is also a removal spell and also works very well in our deck because we have literally 4 cards that make dinky 1/1s that we don't care about. We also have the Savior of the Small that can potentially rebuy guys, so it helps to have something that allows our guys to get killed. On top of that, then there's Sporogenic Infection, which, albeit, is not as good of a removal spell as our other ones. It's still an enchantment that triggers all the Balemerc Leeches, and because it has the Death Touch providing mode, that means that all of these like dinky 1/1 creatures get a lot better because it says, attach this to one of your opponent's creatures, they can't attack you anymore without trading. It also works really nicely with the Double Strike guy because if it Death Touches, then this just kills them. And it's the same thing with Cracked Skull. It's another enchantment that triggers all the Balemerc Leeches and the Dashing Bloodsucker, but also gives the reverse Death Touch ability to whatever we enchant, which again works well with all the rest of that stuff. And then the final 2 spells are the rooms. So there's the Defiled Crypt Cadaver Lab, which is pretty good and is not only 2 enchantment triggers for, again, the Balemerc Leeches, but the enchantment horror token that it creates also triggers those. And then we've got Derelict Attic Widow's Walk, which is probably the worst one out of them, but it's, once again, it's a thing that can allow us to have 2 triggers. It also is the only card in our deck that gives our creatures Death Touch. So if we have the Widow's Walk part of it, what that means is now, okay, all of these 1/1 creatures. Let's say we're in a board stall. Now we can attack with them, and our opponents have to trade instead of being able to just chump our guys. It means our patched plaything can attack and really can't be blocked. So there's no card that I actually want to get rid of. I might reevaluate. I might be like assessing that some of this stuff is better than what it actually is, in which case I will cut them. I would guess that the most likely cards that are like actually not as good are... My number one pick is probably Sporogenic Infection, because this basically just says your opponent sacrifices their second worst creature. That's what it says. Or you put it on their best creature, and then they sack their worst creature. Cracked Skull may, for similar reasons, not be as good. And then potentially the Derelict Attic Widow's Walk may also not be as good. And also there's just the potential that being above the 40 card minimum is just not worth it regardless of how good those are. Do we have any Plains Matters cards? No, none of our cards care about land types. Similarly, like none of our cards have, I don't think a single one of our cards has Delirium. So the Delirium enabling stuff like Fanatic of the Harrowing doesn't matter. The only things that our cards care about is Eerie triggers. And then as far as the lands go, so I have 10 swamps with a Swamp Cycler, and then there are 8 white sources. There's also an outside shot that potentially, since we have 2 dual lands that produce blue, I maybe in a game will add like a third island, a third blue source, and swap these crabs in. It would require a very specific matchup for that to matter. Anyways, let's go ahead and run this. On the play, round 1. All right, we only have 1 land. No lands. Well, this may have been an issue. Okay, well, keep this and put back Plains in a swamp. All right, done. Pass to the opponent. Tap land for them. All right, Plains, play Glimmerlight. Make a 1/1, go ahead. Their own Glimmerlight. Very well, sir. Let's attack them. Swing. No blocks. All right, play this. Play Glimmerseeker. Over to them. So the plan is whatever creature they deploy this turn, we murder it, attack with the Glimmerseeker, and get the trigger. Wary Watchdog. Equips Glimmerlight to the token. Sure. All right. Does it matter which one I use? Obviously, if I murder this, they get to Surveil again, which... All right, so let's play Trapped. Eat this guy. Equip Glimmerlight here. Combat. Swing. Blocks there. Then we trigger. We make a Glimmer. Rip Spawn. All right, absolutely killing this. Equip Glimmer here. Combat. Swing. And then we get to draw a card. Yes. We drew another one of our removal spells. Most excellent. Manifest Dread. Manifested away Monstrous Emergence. Glimmerseeker. So we cannot attack into these. All right, let's play Plaything. Move this over here. And then we'll just pass. Moves the Glimmer there. I still think their attack isn't even that great. Like, we won't block them. Yeah. Okay, so we can't attack and they can't attack. Actually, I can just blow this up. It depends on if this thing is like a gigantic monster that we can't attack into. So let's just play Baelmerk and then pass and then potentially use this if they attack. Well, if it was a huge monster, they probably would have just flipped it. So I'm guessing this isn't anything. Mountain. All right. Swing there. Let's try to kill it. Turn inside out. All right. Well, I'm fine turning that into a Manifest Dread creature. Under the Skin was binned. Okay, so it really depends on what these are. They attached it to the one that wasn't new. All right, so let's go to combat and let's attack here. And then if the thing winds up being too big, it doesn't matter. Let's also attack here because I want to be able to guarantee that I can use my room this turn. So they block here. Damage. It was a land. Okay, and now we can go Defiled Crypt. Trigger this. Then unlock Cadaver Lab and target this guy. So we get our Glimmer dude back. All right, yeah, so they've conceded to that. Sideboarding. So it's quite possible that Sporogenic Infection is just not anywhere near as good as I think it is. And same thing with Cracked Skull. So maybe I just cut these and then the excess land. What's my land count? It's 10 to 8. So 8 white cards, 12 black cards with one of them that cycles for a swamp. So not the swamp. All right, let's do that. Game 2 on the draw. All right, we can't even play anything until turn 5, although it does have, so basically we have another 12 lands in our deck plus extra cards that we can't play until later. I feel like this is a trap if I keep this, so let's just All right, way better. Keep, toss A Plains. All right, back to them. It has to be 2 different creatures, right? Yeah. Watchdog. I like how my guy lines up against that. Play, which one is it? Grand Entryway. Make a Glimmer. If it's tapped, put a +1 counter on target creature. I could just kill both of them. I feel like I know where this attack, and then if they block, that's fine, and if they don't block, I just vengeance it. Kill that. Combat, swing, obviously no blocks, and then we're just gonna eat this dude. Oh, I keep forgetting that I can sack enchantments. I didn't need to sack that 1/1. All right, whip spawn, doesn't matter. We're killing that before anything else can happen. Casts Painter's Studio and exiles 2 lands. Okay. Casts Piggy Bank. Very well. Let's cast this guy. They didn't play their tap land? All right. 4/5 Spirit. Let's trap the Spirit. And then we can win the race, so let's just start hitting them. Unlocks the gallery. All right, we'll just kill this thing. All right. Let's press our advantage. Let's unlock this room, even though it's not full value. What can you do? Swing with this guy. Manifest Dread. This just found footage, and then whatever this thing is. Plays a land. Okay. So they have a lot of mana. I doubt this can survive whatever it is. 6 damage, though, so let's just keep attacking them. No blocks. All right, they go to 3. It is Shrewd Storyteller. Played a land, they can't attack, and then we get to just attack them for free. Drew trapped in the screen, they dead. Swing. Man, our deck just has a ridiculous amount of removal in it, eh? All right, let's go fix the deck. Yeah, so cut the swamp and then cut these 2 enchantments. The potential synergies just outweighed in my mind how bad it would be to have over 40, but yeah, it's just not correct to have over 40. On the draw, game or match. I mean, we can play stuff in this hand. We just have to find a third of any land and then the hand becomes acceptable. I think that's fine. Planes go. All right, well, we found a third land. Glimmerlight. Opponent cycles Shepherding Spirits. Plays Cult Healer. Very well. We're going to play Glimmer Seeker. Back to them. Dollmaker's Shop. Whenever one or more creatures you control attack, create a 1/1 toy. Very well. No block. Take 3, they gain 3. Reluctant Role Model. Okay, so I trapped in the screen here. Yeah, trapped. Eat this dude. Combat. And then I would like to draw a card, so let's just not attack with our Glimmer. Draw. Back to them. They're 1 turn away from unlocking the other side of this room, which would be really bad for us. Okay, so 14 to 20. Right of the Moth, back of this thing. Man, we still haven't drawn lands. Jeez. And we can't even attack them anymore. All right, I guess we just Swamp Cycle and play Balemerc. Over to them. They hit their land, which means that all their guys become 4/4. They'll become 5/5s because it'll trigger the doll. Yeah. So this is 20. We have to chump 2 of these. So, I mean, we're just dead. Like, this room is basically unbeatable. Well, yeah, we're finally drawing lands now. I can't even trigger my Balemercs, right? I can play a second Balemerc, and then I have no enchantment to follow it up with. Yeah, we're dead. All right, well, run the same thing back. All right, on the play. What do we got? This, double Balemerc right off the bat. Yeah, excellent. Ooh, this is gonna be some fun. Back to them. Reluctant Role Model. Let's play Glimmer Seeker. Over to them. So what does it get? +1 lifelink or flying. And then whenever anything dies, you can move the counters around. Make a 1/1. All right. And Final Vengeance, my guy. But they didn't want to attack. Huh. All right, let's just play the other Balemerc and then pass the turn. Acrobatic Cheerleader. And they're still not attacking. Okay. So land. Let's do the entry. Let's put the Rotunda, put +1 counters on both of these, attack, and then even if they double block one of them, I can then play the Cadaver Lab to get the other one back. So it is Elegant Rotunda. Target here and here. Resolve all of this stuff. Resolve this. Combat. Swing. No blocks. All right. Are they going to try to race? Combat. So they're adding flying here and what here? And they're just making both fly, but they didn't unlock their room. Trapped in the screen. Well, I could trapped in the screen, they're trapped in the screen, and get my guy back. I would have to spend my whole turn to do it, but yeah, I guess. Trapped in the screen. Target this one. Ward trigger. Pay the 2. Then this resolves, then we get our guy back, then we can attack them. So they go to 8, and then we only have to trigger our guys 4 times. Another trapped in the screen. Oh, they're not even, yeah, so they're just eating our guy with the counter on it. All right. And then another one of these. Gee. All right. Yep. So can't block. Then they're adding what? They added lifelink. Yeah. Okay. So, and unfortunately, it moves all the counters, right? So we can't counteract the lifelink. What a shame. God. So if I pass the turn, they can potentially unlock these rotundas. Like, this is just going to get out of hand. I probably just have to kill this and say, yeah, whatever. They get to put lifelink on this guy, but that's fine. Combat, swing. They're going to chump block? Okay. Let's kill this guy. Yeah, puts lifelink on that. Whatever. Then unlock this one. And then it triggers again. All right, let's just pass. So they got one card unlocking. So they're just going to put a counter on this twice, and then they have a 4/4 lifelink flyer. Probably. That's what I would guess. Yeah, okay, that's what they're going to do. So now they're just trying to race us. It is what it is. All right, cast Defiled Crypt. Combat. Swing. And we actually just can't do anything else, right? Yeah. We're actually going to lose to racing this. It's kind of insane. So we go to 4, they go to 10. We need to draw a removal spell for this thing. Oh my god, what do they have? You're kidding me. This says Death Touch, but not flying, right? But when it attacks, it drains. So I have to... For God's sake. Okay, so I have to trap in the screen and to gain 1 life off the Balemerc Leech. Eat the flyer. Then they attack, and they'll drain us down to 1, and then I chump block with a Glimmer token. Or, yeah, that's awful. All right, trap, target this. Resolve that. That goes away. We have no attacks. Wait, oh, do I not gain life? Oh, I thought I gained life off of it. Okay, never mind. We're actually just dead. Man, what a bitch of a match that was. Oh, well. Where did I go wrong? What could I have done differently? I could have killed Reluctant Role Model earlier instead of pointing removal at other things, and then that would have made it so they didn't have lifelink and couldn't race. What did I kill over Reluctant Role Model? I don't remember. It's not that I killed anything over it. It's that I just didn't use removal on it until after it already got the lifelink counter. So I could have prioritized killing it sooner. Round 3, we're on the play. We have no black mana, but we have Spectral Shrieker to fetch it. Okay, that's acceptable. Keep, play our Verge, go. All right, well, play Glimmerlight. Fear of Surveillance. Okay, I can't really afford to spend my whole turn just Glimmerlighting this token, so we're going to cast Derelict Attic, and we drew 2 removal spells, pretty good. So then Fear attacks us, no blocks. What are they surveilling? Failed away a land, no blocks. Piggy Bank, all right. Equip here. We're not racing them, so let's just... I could trap in the screen now. I'm basically, do I want them to not surveil, or do I want them to not get a treasure token? I guess I don't want them to have a treasure token, so let's eat the pig. All right, they attack, surveil, distant bins a land, we block this, and trade. And then they play Unsettling Twins. Okay, that's fine. So I either murder one of these creatures, or I just say I don't care, and I'm just going to play Defiled Crypt right now and take it, and then play Spectral Snatcher next turn. I probably don't want to just take a ton of damage, so let's just play Murder. So, over to them. All right, let's murder this. It was another Unsettling Twins. All right. Hardened Escort and Fear of Surveillance. Very well. All right, cast this guy. He's big enough that he can block everything, and they have to spend 2 cards to kill him. They're just going to attack anyway. I assume they're giving Indestructible to this guy. Yeah. All right, block here. So they're just trying to get in, or do they have a burn spell to follow up? Oh, they had Glassworks to follow up. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so Ward Trigger on the stack. They discard Patched Plaything and have 1 card left. So this is 5 mana, and then I can also play the removal spell. All right, so cast Defiled Crypt, unlock the other door, get back Spectral Shrieker, make a zombie token or horror token, and then we just pass. Arabella. All right. I guess I'll prevent them from surveilling. I'll just do this now. Kill that. They just didn't attack. All right, cast this and move the light on here. And let's just pass for now. And we'll start getting in next turn. Midnight Mayhem, make 3 haste. Oh my god. With Arabella trigger? You've got to be kidding. So we're going to go to 1 and then we're just dead to the glass factory. And we don't have anything that can counteract that. You're kidding me. You're freaking kidding me. So yeah, we're just dead. I was thinking about killing Arabella instead of one of the other ones, but I was also thinking like, oh, come on, how much can it do? Like, how much damage can it do? They only have 3 creatures, and they're going to lose 1 when I kill their other guy. All right, game 2. Double Balemercs off the back. Let's keep. Swamp, go. All right, play Balemerc. Back to them. Arabella. Triple Balemerc. All right. Yeah, you know what? Balemerc, go. And now, assuming these guys don't die next turn, we can go Balemerc, Glimmerlight, triple trigger. Hardened Escort. All right. Balemerc, Glimmerlight, trigger. Pass to you. So now they can attack with both of these and make Arabella indestructible, and then deal 2 and plus I'm not going to block either one. So 2, 3, 4, 5. You also gain life off of it, so you can't even race it. Jesus. All right, well, we can't possibly win this race, so we just have to trade. So here, here. Man, we finally got our triple Baelmerk Leech draw, and it just doesn't even matter because we have to race. Fear the Dark, trigger, go to combat, swing, Ragged Playmates, and Fear of Surveillance, sure. God, does it really have to also gain you life? So it's just impossible to race the creature. All right, Glimmerlight here, combat, swing, take 6, play this guy, over to them. Patched Plaything, make Arabella unblockable rather, yeah. So take 4, can't block it. This makes me not able to attack with a lot of stuff, so let's see. So this is 6, so it doesn't matter if I move the Glimmerlight onto it. So 4, all right, combat, attack here and here, trigger. So they're gonna trade here. Damage, and then we can go Bloodsucker and move the Glimmerlight onto... If we draw an enchantment, we want maximum life linking. I potentially just need better blocks, so let's move this onto Baelmerk, and then we'll just pass. How's Duskmourn been for you? It's a mixed bag, but I would say overall fun so far. Yeah, Arabella becomes unblockable. Excellent. All right, we can make Bloodsucker have lifelink. So Glimmer, trigger. This all goes on the stack. Then equip here, combat, swing, swing. And now we gain 6 life. Second main, move this back over here, back to them. Black has not had much depth, in my opinion, is the biggest failing of the set. Really? I feel like black has... Well, okay, what do you mean by depth? I feel like there's a lot of good cards in black, or do you mean that there's only like one thing to do in black? Okay, we won that one. We gotta go on to game 3. Is there anything I want to change sideboard-wise? So, let's see. There's all of these cards, which not really. And then this is expensive. I don't want that. And then the Living Phone I also don't want. So yeah, we're not changing anything. 3 common removal spells. Oh, our deck has tons of removal. We've got Murder, Trap, Nowhere. Yeah. All right, this hand requires a second swamp, but otherwise is fine. So keep. Optimistic Scavenger as their turn 1 play. Jesus. All right. Are we just going to get absolutely run over? Arabella, looks like we're getting run over. Why does it ask you to block if you can't, like you have no blockers? All right, we absolutely have to Trapped in the Screen Arabella next. Like almost certainly that's what we have to do. Patched Plaything. Oh, man. All right, well, block. I guess never mind. We got to kill that because this actually overall does more damage to us. We take 4 at a time from this, and this is going to deal us at least 2, if not more, depending on which creatures they get. And we can at least block it, though. All right, Trapped in the Screen. Eat the patch. And back to them. Some funny cards to enable out of combat. White-green survival's played the most interestingly to me. I like the mechanic that forces action and stuff. Norrin. Yeah, and they're just going to play out a bunch of creatures, and then Arabella swings, we block it. All right, well, we finally have a 3-3. As awkward as it is, all right, play this, over to them. And we can't actually ever kill Arabella, because they can just exile it with Norrin. So we're just going to keep tanking damage every single turn. This is just ridiculous. This is so ridiculous. Block here, block. I guess we block Norrin is the most damage we can block. Yeah. So they're allowing the Glimmer to not get exiled. Exiling Norrin. The last card in their hand was a combat trick. You've got to be kidding me. All right, yeah, we can't win. Congrats. Our opponent had literally everything. I mean, what can I even do here? I can Seized Slumber, kill this. I can't play anything else. And then on their turn, they attack all. I block Norrin and take 5 down to 3. And they get to draw a card. I mean, I guess. Kill this thing. Go. Look, we have a full house. Yeah, swing all. Block here. Actually, yeah, block there. Trigger. I was thinking about blocking the Glimmer token, but then they just make another Glimmer token anyway. It's like, do I want to save 1 damage or do I want to deny them a card, I guess? So second creature, block. We technically don't die. Glimmerlight, trigger, move this here. Go. Arabella. You have a second Arabella? For God's sake. Oh, they just did an attack. Well, if we had drawn black, that would have been maybe something, but now we're literally just dead to them attacking, so we lose. All right. And that puts us 1-2, which means we get no prizes. So part of where I get frustrated with Limited is the whole notion of, I guess it's not exclusive to Limited, is that the play pattern of it literally doesn't matter any choices that you made, you were just going to lose anyway. And it's like, yeah, that happens. It is possible to make no mistakes and still lose. But I feel like that should be pretty rare, and I feel like it happens too often. There's like mono-screwed, flooded, color screwed, opponent has a bomb rare and limited that you can't beat, and then there's just, they curve perfectly and there's nothing you could have done. There's also, at least in this set, there's certain play patterns that I think just absolutely suck, and Arabella is one of them, which is this creature that, there's Arabella that has the attack trigger, so they always get the trigger even if you block it. But then there's multiple cards that allow Arabella to just be completely ridiculous. One is Norrin. Others are that haste tokens thing. There's the patchwork doll that lets it be unblockable. So there's just multiple things that common and uncommon in the set where if you've got Arabella and one of those other cards, your opponent just can't do anything. And the big problem, I think one of the biggest problems is they keep putting attack triggers on stuff instead of combat damage triggers on stuff, which means it doesn't matter even if you have a blocker, they still get the trigger anyway. And then the other infuriating part about Arabella is the gain life. So hypothetically, even if you had a board, you can't race it because they'll just gain so much life that it doesn't matter. Man, what a downer to end on. We've been streaming for 4.5 hours. This is our third league of the day. What a downer game to end on, but it is what it is. I felt like we had a pretty good deck. We had like a lot of solid removal spells. And just, I think the biggest disappointment is we had the triple leech deck, and that never happened. Even in the game where we had triple leeches, we had to use them to block. Oh well. I think a bigger problem in general with the design of Magic, so I've been harping on and on about a lot of the ways that they make their cards unfun, but I think power level in and of itself is also a problem, because the more powerful the cards are, the more you're punished for variance. So Monoscrew, Flood, drawing cards like at the wrong time, like not getting the thing that you needed until later in the game, drawing cards in ways that it doesn't line up well against your opponent. Like these things are just built into the game. That's how the game works. The game has variance, the worst of the variance being Monoscrew / Flood, and it's a part of the game, and you have to accept that that's going to happen to you if you play the game. But the weaker the cards are, the more it's mitigated, right? So like if the creatures are generally lower power, if the removal isn't as efficient, if there aren't a ton of like card advantage engines, then the times when you do get monoscrewed, when you do get flooded, it means you have more opportunities to recover. So, oh, I'm monoscrewed? Well, my opponent's only attacking me with like generally weak creatures. I can potentially block them. My weaker removal actually gets rid of them. So by the time I'm no longer monoscrewed, maybe I can get back into the game, right? Because my opponent has only taken me to like 10 life. Their creatures are not like unstoppable monsters. I have an opportunity to get back in the game. But when the cards are so incredibly powerful, it means that there's a ton of pressure you have to be able to answer this stuff really fast. And if you don't, you just die in the first few turns, because it doesn't matter. Even if you stop getting monoscrewed, even if you draw the removal spell later, it doesn't matter. You're so far behind, you're going to lose anyway. Norrin also has really bad play patterns, because it just means it doesn't matter how you block. Your opponent can just exile whatever and then recast it. Which means in the case of the creatures having attack or enter triggers, they get to keep occurring value. So if you're against a Norrin, it's like, what do? If you don't block, you take damage. If you do block, they get to recast their stuff and get more value. I really feel like one of the biggest problems that Wizards has right now in terms of designing cards is they design cards and they ask the question, how fun is it for players to play with this card, right? Is this card exciting? Is it powerful? Are players going to want to play this, right? But they don't ask what I think is the more important question, which is, how does this card feel to play against? Does it feel totally dispiriting to play against the card? Does it feel like when this card comes out, you can't do anything? You're 90% of the time you feel like you're just going to lose the game? That is a much better question. I think that cards generally shouldn't pass the design test if they fail this card is miserable to play against test. Anyways, it is what it is. Hopefully everybody's having fun at the Grand Prix in Argentina. It'll be interesting to see what happens there, what the formats evolve into based on the results of that. Hope you've enjoyed watching the stream. We'll probably come back for more. I'd still Duskmourn draft is still relatively interesting enough. I feel like I want to play some more of it. So we'll come back again, maybe tomorrow, and do some more. Anyway, see you next time.